By the end of this video, you're going to have a better idea about how you can get from your current self or your present self to your future desired self. So stay tuned. Now, the important thing to start this one with is who you were, everything that you've experienced, everything that you've been through in your life from the moment you're born up until now isn't a reflection on who you can become and what you can achieve. And that's important because a lot of people use their past experiences, and we all experience positives and negatives, highs and lows. And we use that to anchor us down and tether us and keep us in a low vibrational state. And that stops us from raising our vibration and then achieving what it is that we want to achieve, our hopes, our goals, and our dreams. So what you used to be is no longer important. Now, perhaps you've previously been unkind. Maybe you've been selfish. Maybe you've made poor life decisions. Maybe you've been a grumpy person. What's important to know is that none of us are perfect. And who we are or who we were isn't necessarily who we are, and it certainly isn't who we're going to become. Maybe you haven't always been the kindest person, but at the same time, we also have to reflect on how it is that we've been treated, because how we've been treated can affect who we are now. Maybe you've been in a toxic relationship. Maybe you've got toxic family. Maybe you've worked in a toxic workplace. Working's a funny one because we all have to work, no matter what people on other internet channels are telling you. We do all have to work because we need money to buy stuff. And I'll make a video about that another time. We get thrown into a mixing bowl and we spend 40 to 50 hours a week at work with people who we might not necessarily hang around with if we weren't working with. We have no option but to be with these people for most of the day. We spend more time with people at work often than we do with our own family. Now think about that. So that means that we're exposed to people that we wouldn't necessarily ring up and meet up with or go out for dinner with or for drinks, to hang out with, go to the cinema with, but we have to spend all this time with them during the working week because that's who we work with. And that can have a negative, detrimental effect on us. Something that you should always consider and always think about is your past experience, high, low, negative, positive, doesn't have to reflect on who you're going to become. And we shouldn't use it as an anchor or use it as an excuse to anchor us down, stop us progressing and moving forward and developing ourselves further. What we need to do is use all of our life experience, everything you've done, everything you've experienced, everything you've been through, and we use that as a foundation. We use it as a stepping stone to create a better version of you. You can imagine you've got a backpack and it's shaped like a big stone. It's everything you've ever been through. You want to take that off your back and you put it in front of you and you stand on it, and you then start building your future on that foundation. Now, the universe and reality works in two ways, and they're always opposing one another. The universe wants you to be happy, wants you to suck in and lure in that abundance. That's why it created it, for you to attract in our love, our happiness, our contentment, our joy, our friendships, our relationships. It wants you to be happy. Now, because we live in a world of dualities, there's always an opposing factor. For some reason, reality wants you to be unhappy, wants to keep you in a low vibrational state, wants you miserable, wants you sad. So we need to make some small adjustments to reverse that pattern, and we focus on what the universe has to offer us, not what reality is having up to us. So it's okay, because you're going to get knockbacks. We all get knocked back, whether it's asking somebody out on a date and they say no, you get rejected. Maybe it's applying for a job or a promotion and you don't get it. Maybe it's just going out in your car now and you get stuck in traffic. That was unforeseen and that's a knockback. But it's okay, we all suffer them. You've suffered from them and I've experienced. But when we look at mistakes, we all make mistakes. When we were kids, we made mistakes. As a teenager, you made mistakes. And as an adult, you still make mistakes. But that's what a mistake is. It's a mistake. You get another shot at it. The universe's way of saying, come on, give me your best shot. It's here waiting for you. I'm here waiting for you. You just need a slightly different approach. You need to attack it from a slightly different angle. It's like playing snooker. You're trying to hit the ball in the pocket. You miss. It's all right. You get another go at it. And eventually you'll pop that ball in the corner. Whatever it is that you want is already out there, and it's wrapped up in a nice little neat package with a bow on it. And the universe wants you to get it, and it wants you to open it up like a present on Christmas morning. We just need to know and reframe ourselves so that we can get that present, our goal, our dream, whatever it is that we want. We don't let mistakes or hazards or hang-ups or worries, fears, doubts, we don't let that stop us, because that will trap us in this low vibe state. We want to eradicate that and keep ourselves in a high vibrational mindset. Now, the way we do that is by something called modeling. Now, modeling is different to copying. If you think where it is that you want to be, what it is that you desire, what I like to do is that I look at other people who may be in the positions that I may want to be in. And it doesn't have to be an authoritative professional position. It could just be a philosophy, a mindset, a way of thinking. And what we do is we take all of that person's characteristics, their positive characteristics and traits, and we absorb those. It doesn't have to be one person. It could be half a dozen different people. It could be a dozen different people. And we take their positive characteristics, their positive feelings, their positive vibes, and we take those on. And if we do that, we can model ourselves on people that we find aspirational and inspirational. And then we can then use those tools to become a better version of ourselves. Now, that's different to copying. When we're kids, and somebody turns up with a new baseball, a new basketball, football, a new pair of trainers, we want to copy them. This is just what happens, something called groupthink or mass formation psychosis, where we copy other people. Now, when we're kids, we copy, and we still copy when we're adults. Now, the only difference is when we're adults, we have more money to spend, we have more purchasing power, we have more freedoms. We have more of an ability to travel, not necessarily more freedoms. We all know people who copy other people. You could call it keeping up with the Joneses, where we want what our next door neighbor has. We want that fast car. We want to be perceived as being successful. So we copy what other people are doing, hoping that that works for us. Now, that's different to modeling. Modeling is when we take the positives from somebody's character and we take that on. It could be that you know somebody who's relaxed and chilled, and they never worry, they never get anxious. So if we look at that person and take on their behaviors, that will help us be less anxious and less worrisome. The alternate to that is we all know people who worry. They worry about everything. And that is a low vibrational state. And it keeps us in this scarcity mindset that most people have. So if we're hanging around with and we're absorbing people's negative behaviors and thought patterns, then that is who we will become. And we'll take on people's negative characteristics. So we want to be focusing on the positives, your desires, who you find inspirational. And this is just a starting point. It doesn't have to be in a professional environment. It doesn't have to be someone that you respect professionally or who can give a really good presentation or who can make a really good YouTube video. It could just be that person who doesn't want much, but they're happy. They don't desire possessions and material things, but they're happy because they know that their heart inside is already filled. So the question is, who do you want to become? Who are you? And where do you want to be? There's a lot of people out there who think there's something that they're not. And that, to be critical, that's just, for some reason, we like to frame ourselves on an outcome that we don't actually want and we don't want to desire. So we don't want to get into the trap and the cycle of trying to be something that we're not. We want to focus on what we want and what we can achieve. And the first step to that is by making some mental adjustments. And you can try this hack, which is called modeling. It's essentially taking the positives from other people around you, taking them on. Maybe you want to start a business. Maybe you want to start a business because you're sick of working 40 hours a week with a load of people you don't have anything in common on. Maybe you want to spend more time at home with your family. Maybe you want more time to travel. Well, we can look at other entrepreneurs and think, well, what have they done? How have they made initial steps? What did they do to get in the position that they're in? It doesn't mean you need to whip them off and copy them and follow the exact business model that they've created and that they're following. That's copying, and that's negative. And when we copy, the root of that really is a form of jealousy and envy. We want to think positively. We want to take on the positivities from the world around us, and we want to use those positives to make ourselves better. We use that by using our past and using that as a foundation to build a new building for you so that you can build a new and greater self. Because remember, the universe wants you to be happy, and it wants you to be the best version of yourself, and your current higher self knows who your best version is. We've just forgotten about it, and we need to get ourselves back on track. So remember, always strive to be the best version of yourself, because it's already out there. That person's already out there waiting. You just need to morph into that person. We can do that by taking some small steps, become bigger steps. And a good tactic for that to start is modeling. So, if you've enjoyed, please like and subscribe, and I will see you guys again. Bye-bye.